Good morning, Louis.
Good morning, Clarissa. How are you?
I'm good. How are you today?
Good, good.
Good.
Beautiful out there.
It is a beautiful day if you like heat, and I like heat. So we met several years ago. You
Yeah.
came to the Oasis program with your business, Lake and Sea Paddleboarding. So tell me a little bit about your business and what you do.
Okay. Well, Lake and Sea paddleboarding. I came up with the idea really with the New Brunswick people in mind. Uh, Being in New Brunswick, we're living right by the ocean, the Northumberland Strait. So there's sea and the lakes. There's beautiful lakes in New Brunswick. You have Grand Lake. You have the Mount Carleton Lake.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of lakes that I haven't seen yet.
Yes, yeah.
So Lake and Sea paddleboarding.
And you have kind of a story behind it that the reason why you're so drawn to the water is that you have fond memories of being young and being out on the water, and that's kind of what your passion is around this business, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So what got you into paddleboarding? I know it's all the rage, and the reason why I wanted to have you on this show is because I know you're passionate about it, but I know that so many New Brunswickers now, when we're looking for staycation ideas, we're heading to the water, and all of the water sports resources and tools that you need, like kayaks and canoes, they're hard to find. So what got you into paddleboarding?
Well, paddleboarding. Well, for me, the exercise first of all, I'm not a big fan of indoor, gym, that sort of stuff.
Hmm.
So my exercise, well, they were walking, hiking, biking, which is all leg work
Hmm.
and nothing upper body. So I thought, geez, paddleboarding, that would be quite a workout.
Hmm.
So I tried it, and yes, it hurts. It is a
you,
workout.
you're gonna need some good coordination, right?
Well,
So
big
use
enough.
use me as a perfect example. I can't swim, and sometimes I don't have great coordination. So, if I was coming to you for help with paddleboarding and I was coming to Lake and Sea paddleboarding, what would be some advice that you would give me?
Well, first of all, if you can't swim, wear a life jacket. That's the first.
That is a good,
Uh,
yeah, good piece. Yes.
well, for a coordination, the wider paddleboard you're gonna get, the
Hmm.
more it's gonna make you float. Like you'll be more stable.
Okay. Okay.
And before you can get up on a paddleboard and go, well, you just go on your knees and get the feel of it. And you try it slowly, get up, and
Hmm.
if you're about to fall, well, just jump in.
Right.
It's the
So
whole
can you
learning curve.
paddleboard anywhere?
Above 6 inch of water,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Let's, so I could
Oh
stay
yeah,
in.
little streams if
Okay.
it's deep enough.
So you have to start gradually then, just grab a paddleboard and head out to the
Yeah,
middle of Northumberland Strait.
just go. Yeah, just have
Yeah.
fun with it.
I'll start in that 6 inches of, I'll find a puddle.
Right. Don't adventure too far because you might end up a little too far.
That's right. That's right.
Then you'll
So,
need to call 911.
yeah. So why do you think the sport has taken off? I know you said that, you're not a fan of like the traditional gyms, but why do you think now, today, in this 2020, with COVID, why do you think this business of paddleboarding has taken off?
There's probably various reasons, but I think the most is curiosity.
Hmm.
Like they want to try it, and there is the one that falls in love with it.
Okay.
So that's the kind of people I'd like to. This is why I want to bring this sport in New Brunswick for the
Yeah.
people that's gonna fall in love with the sport.
Fall in love with it and
There's so
try.
much to do with it.
Yeah. And do you see a lot of people, you know, like falling in love with it, but you know, I suppose you have to give it a few chances too. Or do they fall in love with it the first time?
Yeah, like I want to do this.
Mhm.
Because after, when you start to get more used to it, well, you want more of it.
Right.
So instead of going to the beach and play with the kids and pushing you off of it, well, you're looking at that island that is, I don't know, like a quarter mile.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how it is to reach that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
then you pack up and you're confident, you're used to your paddleboard, you can stand up without falling, and
Okay.
you go for an adventure.
So it's baby steps, baby steps.
Baby steps.
Yeah.
Yep.
So where's your favorite spot to paddleboard?
Well, my favorite spot. I really haven't found my favorite spot, just because I haven't gone a whole lot of places.
Okay.
But I kind of like, I like to think, you know, every time you go hang out, like in your town where there's a river
Mm-hmm.
going by, well, or you know, when you were a kid, you were jumping off your bridge,
Mm-hmm.
the local bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Just for an example, well, on a paddleboard, it gives you a different perspective of what you see.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of being on a bench, well, you're on the paddleboard and you're looking at the bench.
Right. Right. So you see
Just
your,
an example.
yeah, you see your place from a
gives
different.
you another perspective of your favorite spot.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yes, that does. So you were talking about, you know, all the different, you know, lake or sea that you can go to. So you know, you might not have a favorite spot yet because you know you like to do it everywhere. But you know, where would you say if I was going to start paddleboarding, you know, where are some places that I should kind of set out to try in the province?
In the province, well, a smaller lake is a very good place because the water is calm most of the time.
Right.
So if you go in rougher waters, well, your ability to stand up, you have to, it's a little bit more challenging.
Okay. Okay.
You know, if you imagine being on the ocean and, you know, you have those waves rocking you, well, you still need a little bit more practice than being on a smooth, like a lake.
Okay. So it sounds to me your top tips are, you know, start small, like, you know, don't like start in maybe some shallow water, you know, start in calmer waters, you know, don't think that you're going to go a million miles the first time, you know, just, you know, start out small. What about any tips for us choosing paddle boards? What do we, you know, like, you know, where do we, I know we can go to you for our paddle boards, but when we're looking for paddle boards and we're sizing them up, what are some tips to know what we should choose?
Well, the obvious is you need something that makes you float.
Okay.
So I wasn't too good in physics, but there's a formula that, you know, your weight and the water displacement is measured in liters.
Okay.
So, and if you start looking for a paddleboard, well, it's all in liters.
Okay. Okay.
So they can.
So there is a formula. I just can't go and just grab any, you know, it's not like snowshoes. You just can't go and strap any on your feet and be able to stay up. So there's a formula to finding a paddleboard.
We don't need the formula because, you know, I have, you know, just a general idea of per weight of the
Right.
person, what size paddleboard would be suitable for that person.
Okay. So you know the formula. We come to you and you help us out.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. And so how can we get a hold of you now? I see behind your head, you made it very easy for us. You have your website up and how people can reach you on Facebook and your phone number. And so people can just reach out to you through your website or through your contact information to find more
Yes,
information about it.
absolutely.
Okay. So I'm going to put you on the spot again though, because you never really answered me. So if I was going paddleboarding with you this weekend, where would you take me?
Oh, in Miramichi. Miramichi River.
You know, we haven't seen very many paddleboards yet in Miramichi along the river, but maybe we will this summer.
Isn't there a little lake? Geez. There's a zip line or something.
Yeah, so we have a French Fort Cove. It's a cove. It's a body of water in the cove, and the zip line goes over the top of it. Yes.
But
So
that's a nice little
so
calm
we could
lake.
start there. Okay.
Oh,
So
yeah.
for
Yeah.
all the Miramichiers watching this, we could start at the cove. We could start
Yep.
a trend at the cove. Okay. I don't know if I'd want to fall in that water.
Oh,
seems a little Loch Ness monstery water to me there. It's
okay.
really dark. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
then choose the river then.
Choose the river. Well, I'll find a puddle after the rain. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Louis. I appreciate you giving us some advice on paddleboarding and what we should look for. And hopefully we'll have a lot more people loving the sport. I know as you do. Awesome.
Thank you for
Thank you
having
so
me.
much.